Hey guys and girls, good evening. This message is not brought to you by Exfoliage. It's actually House of David Bible News again with an urgent newscast. Broadcast 3. To the east of the Holy Land, the Nabitaean Arab Kingdom and the Decapolis. The Kingdom of Nabatea, the area to the east and south of Judea, and Petra, was populated by Arab tribes known as the Nabitaeans. Since settling down to agriculture and commerce about 200 BC, they had become a powerful kingdom, in many ways a dangerous rival to the Jewish area to the north and west. Their kingdom included not only the ancient realms of Edom and Moab, but also spread beyond them to the south of Judea and Idumea, and included the ancient town of Beersheba on the edge of Negev. Their capital was the city Petra. This astonishing city, which lay in the old Edomite mountains, must surely have been one of the wonders of the world, for it is quite literally carved out of rock. As you ascend the mountains from Rift Valley, you pass through a narrow gorge which suddenly opens up into a plain or basin about some 1,250 yards by 250 to 500 yards. This plain contained temples and houses, and there were also royal tombs and a great theater hewn out of the surrounding rock. Its position and security made Petra an important city of commerce. The Nabitaeans controlled important trade routes up to Damascus in the north and to Gaza and Alexandria to the west, from where they traded by ship as far as Asia Minor and Italy. One notable achievement was their resourcefulness in storing water. Much of their kingdom was in the southern area, which received no more than a few days' annual rainfall and were so sparsely populated. They were so resourceful in building dams and cisterns to preserve water from the wadis and from the rain that new settlements sprang up in the southern regions, and these settlements also played an important role in strengthening and defending the trade routes. Such was a powerful kingdom of Nabatea, which posed a threat to Herod Antipas' small kingdom of Perea, because he made enemies of them by divorcing the king's daughter. Herod was roundly criticized by John the Baptist for this act of folly. Okay, now Decapolis. Gadara was one of the wealthy towns in the Greek-speaking area known as Decapolis. It lay to the east of the Lake of Galilee, and the Jordan River was also formed a division between Herod Antipas, two areas of Galilee and Perea. The area of the Decapolis was colonized by the Greeks during a period of immigration which followed after the campaign and conquests of Alexander the Great. There were 10 major cities which reformed themselves into a league for trading purposes and also for defense against the surrounding Jewish peoples. Preservation of their Greek culture and religion was a life and death matter for them. As a result of their trade, these cities acquired considerable wealth. They were also run on Greek political principles. They were much more advanced and wealthy than their neighbors in Galilee, whom they tended to treat with suspicion and distrust because of their different culture and religion. Many of the cities were adorned with extensive forums and grandiose temples dedicated to their Greek gods. The city of Gadara itself was no exception. It stood on a headland above the Jordan Valley in a strong and strategic position. It was surrounded on 3 sides by steep slopes. It was prosperous enough to have 2 amphitheaters and a temple to Zeus, the king of all the Greek gods. It was famous for Greek culture, having produced the Epicurean philosopher Philodemus, a contemporary of the famous Roman orator and philosopher Cicero, the rhetorician, and Theodorus, the tutor of the emperor Tiberius, also came from Gadara. All the big towns such as Gadara had authority over the land surrounding them in the same region. It was in the area around this notable Greek city that Jesus caused such a stir with his miraculous exorcism and healing. Spring 27 AD. Broadcast 3. Urgent news. A great problem facing Roman governors ruling in Judea was how to deal with the Jewish beliefs and practices which were difficult for Romans to comprehend. The new Roman governor, Pontius Pilate, was hardly the right man for the job, as the Caesarea incident clearly demonstrates. Herod Antipas, the ruler of Galilee, married his brother's ex-wife, Herodias. They had both divorced their previous partners in order to marry. John the Baptist denounced this as incestuous under the law, and Herod Antipas had already sourced relations with this powerful neighboring Nabitaean Arabs by divorcing the Nabitaean princess. He wanted no further trouble, so he had John the Baptist arrested. Jesus, who was the cousin of John the Baptist, was baptized by him in the river Jordan and for some time had a ministry parallel to John's in the Jordan Valley. After the arrest of John, Jesus withdrew into the wilderness to work out what type of ministry he was to have. Then he started a new ministry of preaching and healing in Galilee. Jesus and his family moved to Capernaum, where his disciples had lived as fishermen before they were called to follow him. Capernaum became Jesus' base for his healing, preaching, and ministry throughout Galilee. Happy Hanukkah.